cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the #1 podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. Welcome, fellas, to another True Tuesday episode. I was glad you guys joining me today, man. What's going on with you, Comedian 96? How you feeling?
I'm good. G, I'm good. What's the deal?
Man, I can't complain. And my brother from another, Freddie G, how you living?
Great.
And the man with all the beats, and I ain't talking about vegetables, Slash. How you feeling, my brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Trying to see what we got up for today, man.
Man, I got this story, bro, that it's definitely something that's crazy and hard to believe. And if you guys can remember, last year we did a story about a husband that tried to fake his death just to get away from his family.
Yeah,
well, not just to get away from his family, but he had ulterior motive.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he basically tried to get away from his family. Well, today I have another gentleman who tried to actually kill his wife, and he failed at doing so. But you know, in looking at the story and listening to it, bruh, and I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just parts of it to me kind of seem kind of humorous. You know,
You know I'm going.
I'm not, and
I'm
I don't.
sorry.
Again, I'm not trying to make light of the story. I am grateful and glad, not grateful, but I'm glad to say that nobody was demised in this story. Thank God. But just the attempt alone kind of was crazy in itself. So let me guys give you a little backdrop. 46-year-old Gerhard Koenig, anesthesiologist, lives in Honolulu, Hawaii, with his wife. They were on a hiking trail Monday morning. Now you can imagine being in Hawaii, the backdrops and all of this. It's just a beautiful scenery all around. Well, he wanted to get a selfie with his wife and they were kind of on a cliff. So you can imagine the backdrop was, like I say, beautiful, but the wife wasn't having it. You know, she, I guess, for fear of heights, but or maybe she suspected, you know, this motherfucker might try to push me off.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed. I'm sorry.
You know, depending on the history and what currently was going on, which is not said in the story. But anyway, she denied going to the cliff to take the picture. So at that time, he got a little aggressive and kind of persisted that she come join him. She further denied, and he eventually pushed her down on the ground. Yeah. So after he pushed her down on the ground, fellas, he proceeded to try to beat her with a rock.
Wow.
It was said that he had hit her at least 10 times with this rock.
You going to jail now?
Now, after all of this, the wife is yelling for help, you know, saying he's trying to kill me. Mm-hmm. And that's when a witness came into play, and she was able to get to the witness, and the husband ran away from the scene.
Damn.
This is fucked up all the way around for this man because, one, he didn't. I don't feel he definitely had a plan, but he didn't think it out all the way through.
He could not have.
You know, and I'm wondering, you know, in the on the edge, how far the drop was, you know, because the way he planned this, it could have been a 20-foot drop, and she still would have passed away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just feel he just didn't think it through thoroughly. Not that, you know, one should try to plan. My initial thing is he's 46 years old.
He should know better.
You got more life behind you than you do ahead of you. So, and being an anesthesiologist, he's making a lot of money. So I just can't understand why one would make these type of decisions at this time in your life. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So did they say the race of these people?
They were Caucasian.
Okay.
They were Caucasian.
That helps the story
and
make
it's
sense.
always boating, hiking, or skiing.
Yeah, places
that
we don't go.
That they're trying to take you out. So, ladies, if you go and your man, you know, people of the lighter hue, we want to take you boating, hiking, or skiing.
So you saying if you told a female that you was gonna take her to Hawaii, they shouldn't take you up on that?
Boating, hiking or skiing, I ain't going. I know it's going. I know it's happening. I'm not gonna come back.
Hawaii.
Probably. Doesn't matter. Boating, hiking.
That was his
skiing.
wife, right?
That was his wife.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're taking your wife on a vacation and you haven't shown any signs.
Let me back up for the G. They live there.
Okay.
Oh, they live there. Yeah.
So if you and your wife are out spending some quality time together, so you think it's quality time together, you're not going to question. I mean, especially if you trust them, you're not going to question that. Now, the only motive I can think of, if you're making pretty good money like that, is insurance money. That's the only motive I can think of.
Yeah.
And that's normally what it boils down to is insurance. But again,
money.
He's making a lot of money. Hell, he had enough to take care of his wife, and still,
Then if he was already making money, then my thing is she was cheating. She was cheating.
Or he
caught her.
Man, you know how the storybooks go.
Yeah,
The
that's
husband
true.
want to cheat.
Yeah.
And he want to be with somebody else, so he
got to get rid of her
the
first.
wife. You know, you never know what these situations be, though. You know, it's crazy.
So, Comedian 96, you're saying that he possibly felt that the wife was cheating, and that's why he wanted to get rid of her.
I would say that, but I'm listening to Slash. That makes sense. He probably wanted her out of the picture to make
so
room.
he could do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm saying he had enough money. Why not just go ahead and divorce her and give her what the fuck she wants?
Well, sometimes people don't want to give up what they got.
But you'd rather kill a woman?
Man.
Look, this man was hiking on Hawaii 1 week, beautiful surroundings, and now you locked up.
So
different backgrounds.
No, here's the thing.
Crazy.
If I know California is a 50-50 state. I just saw a skit by Gary Owens. He said he was on stage in Ohio, where he's from. And he's about to go on stage, have a show. But then his lawyer called him. They have a house in California. So they were trying to serve him in Ohio, in California. That's what it was. He had a show in California. And they have a house in Ohio. So he filed for divorce in Ohio. His wife filed in California because California is a 50-50 state. Right? So they was like, the lawyer called him, say, get off stage right now, California, leave, go back to Ohio because they're trying to serve you. So if Hawaii is a 50-50 state like Cali, then you can kind of understand divorcing her wouldn't be the option because she's going to get, it's 50-50.
Half.
I understand 50-50, but again, with his profession, I'm further reading that he was not only an anesthesiologist, but he was also a bioengineer. So just take 50% of what his salary was. He
That's
still
what I'm saying.
He still would have had a nice life to live.
No, but she would have been living her best life.
So check it out, K-Money. I know 50-50 for some doesn't seem like it should be an issue if you're making good money. But take one of these pro athletes. Let's say a pro athlete is making $20 million a year. I mean, $20 million or whatever.
Right.
And then he gets divorced, and they say you got to give $10 million to her. And now, his living expenses, his house, his cars, and how he's living, he was living like he had $20 million. Now I only got $10 million. So I think that people, man, it's hard when you got to give up half of what you've earned.
Worked hard,
right? When you did all the work.
Yeah, and when we're looking at it from a broke standpoint. Look at it from this standpoint. We're looking at their money from a broke standpoint. Like I'm making good money, so you can give it up. But look at it from this standpoint. Let's say you make $50,000 a year.
True.
And now you got to give up $25,000 a year, and then that rich person is looking at you like, man, just give up the $25,000. That ain't nothing. So we're just looking at it from a broke perspective, or a person that ain't really making a lot of money like that.
That's not how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at, but I get it. I'm with you on that too. But I'm looking at it like this. I just met this girl 6-8 months ago, 9 months. She ain't been no life partner. We probably been together 1 or 2 years. After 2 years, we got married, and then a year later, we get in a divorce. I don't know how long they've been together, but and he's seeing how she's moving. That would disturb me more than if it's a good wife and I just jacked up, I deserve to pay 50%. But if it's this wife, if our motives is already, I'm finna get half his and I'm gone. Because they have those, what they call starter wives. That's what they call them. They call them starter wives. They'll come in, pretend, oh, I love you, and they see you making a little money, and they take half of what you got and move on to the next person and do the same. So if it was one of those situations and you stepping back and like, man, this girl didn't care from day one.
Now,
it's hard to give up 50% to somebody.
I hear
like
what
that.
you're saying, and I'm not taking that away from what you're saying, but that doesn't justify trying to kill a woman. Even still.
Yeah, you losing your freedom, bro. I don't think it's worth losing your freedom.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not saying him trying to kill her was right. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying I understand.
Man. We can't. And then look at it too, man. By default, when men are having conversations about women, by default, or unconsciously sometimes, we automatically point the finger at her. She must have been cheating. She must have been doing it. She must. No.
Right.
It could very well be he the one who fucking up.
Right.
It's possible.
I said the same thing.
You know,
I said, yeah.
The way you were coming across as if she was the one.
No, in the beginning, I said it could have been him. He just wanted to get rid of her because I agree with K Money was saying. I think it was Slash that said it. That he's possibly trying to do his own thing. So it could have went either way. It could have went either way. But for the most part, men want to stay in a relationship. And my thought is it was possibly the way she was moving, and he didn't like it.
I just don't think it could ever be that bad to where you want to kill somebody. And then I'm trying to sit here and just fathom his mindset on how he planned this. Okay, we're gonna go walking on this trail, and I'm gonna push off the cliff. That failed.
Well, that's more believable. I think K Money. I think that when you look at it, and it seems as if he didn't plan this through. But if you painted a picture in your head, let me get you close to this cliff. We're hiking and we doing. It's simple.
Right.
I'm just gonna push you off and make it look like an accident. But when something comes about and that didn't work, her spidey senses is
she's on the defense
now. Nan's like, you trying to kill me. Nan's like, okay, I got to think of something quick to actually kill her because she going to go tell that I'm trying to kill her.
Right, he know he fucked up.
So, yeah, so now I can see him, okay, well, shit, let me pick up this rock. This is all I got. But I'm going to tell you what that tells me, though. At the bare minimum, let's say that rock is an average size of a brick. Mm-hmm. The regular brick. And he hit her in the head 10 times. You know what that tells me? And she didn't die.
She was strong-minded.
Actually, that tells me he weak physically. Because either if you hit somebody in the head 10 times, you hit them hard enough, they should at least go unconscious first. Right? Now, if you steady hit it, the first time you hit them, you could do that. But the more and more you keep swinging, your arm is going to get tired.
Yeah.
And he only managed to get 10 hits in. Now, the first hit hurt, but the 7th hit didn't hurt as much as the first hit because he's starting to get tired. So that tells me that he probably wasn't that strong.
That's a good scenario, and I'm thinking now, just listening to you say that, Freddie G, I'm thinking, because the story does say that he hit her in the head approximately 10 times, but I'm thinking, she wasn't just laying there and just able to receive those licks like we just said. She was on the defense, so she was probably moving around, so it wasn't I'm thinking possibly those licks weren't.
They were spread it out.
Yeah, I mean,
they wasn't all right behind each other.
At that, or they just weren't legitimate licks or hits because of her moving around trying to defend herself. You know what I'm saying? Could have been like a scrape, and she caught that as a hit.
He might have swung a few times
plus,
and missed.
Her arm, she was probably blocking some of it. Think about the one. She probably at least blocked 1, 2, or 3 of them.
Man, let's say he hit her. Let's say
he
hit her 10. He hit her 10 times, right? One of those licks hurt like a motherfucker.
Right.
But
I agree with that.
Now, one of those licks hurt like a motherfucker. That should have been enough to at least daze you.
It should
if it was a headshot. I agree.
It should have knocked her out.
Yeah,
a brick. It would have knocked you out.
Yeah, at least to daze you.
And then I could understand 9 more licks.
Yeah.
But if it didn't knock her out, she was fighting him
or
back,
Dazer.
and he was swinging the brick and probably missing, and she was catching him. So he wasn't 10 hits right back to back. I don't believe that.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't hit her enough to daze.
Yeah,
because he wasn't strong. Because man, you hit somebody with a brick. Shit.
he must have threw it or something. I don't know what the
And like
hell.
you were saying, Comedian 96, if my arms were blocking it and that brick hit my ass, I'm
still
going to
gonna
move it when I see that next brick coming. You know what I'm saying? Or turn my body to avoid being hit again in the same area.
Well, you're gonna be
That's what I'm
bleeding.
saying. Yeah, you're gonna be bleeding.
It's gonna be some blood.
But if it's a new area, he didn't hit her. I don't know, because I think that if you hit somebody in the same area 10 times, they out of there. My guess is she was moving and they were headshots, but not the same place. Some could have been in the neck, which a brick gonna leave a scratch on the neck.
Nevertheless, he failed at the initial
It didn't work
plan
out
of
for
trying to push her off a cliff, and then hitting her with a brick. Also,
He failed twice.
didn't. He failed with the brick.
Uh-huh.
So when you ran off, I'm wondering what your thought process is then,
Now.
because you finna get caught.
You going to
eventually.
jail?
Right.
You on the whole island.
Yeah.
You can't go to the airport.
Definitely won't be able to go to the airport.
Yeah, they coming for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, the money that he's made and has the money that he's made, because he won't be making any more in the future, because he was the company that he worked for let him go once they found out about the charges that he was that were brought up against him, which I can imagine. But this man had a pretty legitimate profession, man, and like I say, I hear what you're saying, Freddie G, in regards to thinking like a broke person. I ain't thinking like a broke person. I'm not thinking like a motherfucker that was making the amount of money that this guy made, and I just don't feel that my freedom is worth going to these extremes.
So this is temp murder, right? Anybody
Yeah,
know this is
attempted,
going to be attempted
murder,
murder?
well-
now, is it possible for him to get the same amount of time as if he murdered her? Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. But if it's a state charge, man, the state judge got so much leeway, and depending on how that judge is feeling, man. Of course, first of all, the DA got to come up with what they're gonna charge you with. Then you got to be found guilty, and then now sentencing, and then that judge get all of that leeway. So the answer to your question is he shouldn't get the same kind of time you would get for murder. But man, these state judges have so much leeway, you never know these days.
Is it possible for him to get off? Period. No time.
Well, man, that's gonna take a hell of a. That's gonna take a
Johnny Conquer.
man. Nah, because here's the thing: the victim can speak. So you go before these people. She went to the hospital and they took photos of
You
her,
finna get some time.
Yeah,
and she can get up there and she can speak.
Yeah.
Think about the lady. I think his name, the guy name was Buttafuoco, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Joey Buttafuoco.
I think so. Where they shot the lady in the face,
Yeah.
and she lived, and she get up there and she can speak
And point them out.
and point you out. So now it's like, well, shit. How you gonna get off from that? Excuse me, ma'am. Do you see the person that hit you? Yep, that motherfucker did it right there. He hit me 10 goddamn times
With a brick.
with a brick.
Yeah. He's being charged with second-degree murder. So
Buttafuoco.
no, Koenig, the guy that we're discussing.
But I thought you said she lived.
How she getting charged? He getting charged with second degree murder, attempted murder.
Attempted murder. I'm
Attempted
sorry.
murder. Okay.
Attempted.
Yeah, attempted murder. That is a big difference.
Yeah.
But Comedian 96, just before we end, you think that this man should be charged, get the same charge as if he murdered her?
Man, the intent. I'm looking at the intent. You didn't hit her 1 or 2 times with the brick. You hit her 10 times.
Right. It was obvious
That
what his
means
mission was.
you were trying to kill her. You ain't do it 1, 2. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. No, you kept going. 1, 2, 3. You know they gonna do that on the thing in the court. 1, 2, 3. I would be the lawyer to do it, and I would make it so dramatic that he would get 100 years. That's just if I was a lawyer, because 10 times in the head, bro. Yeah, you were trying. You wasn't trying.
Well,
Yeah.
K Money said attempted murder,
Yeah.
and you're at the judge's mercy once they find you guilty.
Yeah. And I couldn't be the judge because I would probably give him as much time.
I think it's cases like this here where the defendant definitely should not be granted bond. Because it just shows and proves how harmful they could be if trying to kill demise someone on this magnitude. But I think this is a clear case where one husband definitely would have been in favor of a Plan B. Peace out. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Scott faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.